Black and White, an honest conversation. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So Susie Wiles goes off the rails with Vanity Fair in a no holds barred interview where she just spills all the tea from the White House dining room. I mean, it is classic. I mean, she's unloading both barrels on everybody. Nobody was safe except Bill Clinton. Let's check in with Brock and Ellis, who's standing by in the beautiful confines of the upper Hudson River Valley, just north of New York City. And Brock, wow, that drunk uncle caricature that Rick Wilson always paints of Trump seems to be pretty balls on dead accurate.
Yeah, I mean, she described him as an alcoholic personality, which I'm not. I'm really still curious to see what her definition of that is. Mine is
Right.
like rambling, incoherent,
Slobbering.
slobbering, like, irrational, violent at times, right? Like, that's kind of
Hmm.
my view of
Sure.
my vision of what that word connotates, but I'm still curious. We need to go a layer deeper on exactly what she meant. Certainly not a compliment.
No,
I
couldn't
can't.
be.
First of all, I give her kudos over John Kelly, who hasn't said fucking jack shit, right? After
Right.
watching 4 years of Trump's fucking shenanigans and his own son getting disparaged by Trump. So I
Right.
give Wiley, whatever the hell her name is, but A, she's been behind the scenes the entire time,
We
right?
didn't
This is
even
the
know who the
first
chief of staff was.
yeah, this is the first we hear of her. I'm sure Trump doesn't let her on camera, right? Because she's too old. And this just feels like the type of interview you do either A, after you've left and you're doing scorched earth, or B, as a part of like your book tour because you're trying to make money telling the stories about what went on when you were there. It
Right.
doesn't feel like the type of interview you do when you're just going to go back to work the next morning and smile and go to meetings with these same people that you just trashed. So I don't understand her. I love that she did it and it shows me MAGA's coming apart. But explain to me her strategy or mindset of what she was trying to achieve because no chief of staff in the history of an American history has done this.
Right. Um, Brock, I think in their own subtle, kind of twisted and warped way, the people from MAGA, that are closest to it, that are, steering the ship, are trying to get away from it as best they can. And this is a way that she gets fired. This is a way that she can, kind of pull the cover off, the bed and say, oh, and oh, by the way, the emperor has no clothes. Um, I think it's a way out. I think it's a way that people are trying to, redeem their reputations. But look, once MAGA, always a MAGA in my book. I'm never going to let any of these people off the hook. They are a shit stain in history, as far as I'm concerned, and should never be seen as anything other than that. There is no one that she mentioned that is worthwhile um, to be running this country. None of these people are morally fit to be charting the direction of this country. And, maybe she's trying to prove that she's it, but,
So you
I don't know.
you think there's a MAGA? I believe in the policies and what we're doing, but I'm not like these other guys.
Right,
Like
right.
like
None of them.
they're crazy. They're incompetent. They're off the rails. They're
They
like
believe
they
this stuff.
they say fucked up shit and dance on people's graves and Elon Musk is a drug addict who sleeps in a sleeping bag on the floor all afternoon and then comes up rambling, right? I mean, she trashed Musk, which was phenomenal.
Awesome.
So
I
yeah,
love it.
okay, so there's a bunch of them you think, and maybe that's sort of what MTG has also done. And I'm trying to think of, some others.
Did you see how easily it was for her, for MTG to just kind of weasel into polite society? I mean, next thing you know, she's on with Wolf Blitzer. Kristen Welker's got her on. You know, eh, why are you welcoming these hyenas back into polite society? We don't want them around because at any given moment, they could hit a 180 on us and go right back to the jackals that they were.
Well, they haven't changed, right? They're just showing a different
No.
face, right? So, like, who's next? Nancy Mace and then Bobert, and I mean, we're that's just the softening up
Right.
of everyone's image. But you know, Susan Weil, is that how we pronounce it? Like, she's so
Wild.
yeah, Weil. She's so hardcore MAGA, but she's so like not in the spotlight that
Right.
this is just an amazing coming out party for a chief of staff. And were you surprised by a single? I mean, I haven't read the whole article, right? I've just seen a bunch of excerpts and blurbs. Have you been
Right.
surprised by a single thing that you've read?
No.
No.
No. No. Matter of fact, I thought it was worse than what
Probably.
she's saying. I feel like it's worse, and she's kind of glossing over it. She's the first woman to ever hold this position. So, maybe she's pissed that she's not getting the shine that she thinks she deserves. As a woman chief of staff, history maker, and Caroline Levitt, who's sitting up there lying all the time.
Hmm.
But because she's, well, I guess they say she's cute. Um,
Telegenic.
yeah, I don't see it. But yeah, um, but maybe um, that's what she's pissed about. Something's
Yeah,
got her,
she's
you
probably
know,
gotten
hanging
she's
on
probably
Monday.
gotten bullied and steamrolled and circumvented, right? Because we know
Yep.
Trump, it's chaos, right? So people
Right.
have probably kind of just trampled over her to get into Trump's ear and all this and that. You can see the resentments that could build up so easily because these are such horrible people that he's
Right.
surrounded himself with,
Misogynistic
right?
too.
I mean, these are
You know they
terrible
have no
people.
respect.
What's
Yes.
that?
And they're misogynistic already, so they have no respect for her. They're just pushing by, giving her the Heisman, and keeping it moving. And it really is just par for the course with these. Like these people will turn on their own child. They don't care. Like it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Every man and woman for themselves. And let the weakest among us be eaten.
The tone of her comments are kind of like, I hate all these fuckers, right?
Right.
Miller and
Right.
Russell Moat and Trump and
Yeah.
like Musk and up and down the line, probably everyone she got asked about, you got the sense that she hates them all. I'm just, all right, well, we're going to see how long she lasts in the seat. She did us a
Well,
nice public service, but I just
right.
can't imagine that she's going to continue in the job for
Right.
too
Look,
long.
riddle me this, Batman. Um, like most people tie their MAGA loyalty to Trump, right? So if she can't stand the people, at the head of the spear, is she just a white supremacist? Is that what
Yeah.
you are if you're not digging like the
Yeah, and
leadership?
maybe you just think MAGA can be done a different way. And
Maybe the old way where we
yeah, it's
didn't,
kind of the old
say
way,
it out
more
loud.
traditional way. We keep it a little quieter. We just fuck everyone over, but we don't do it as boisterously. And we have at least
Yeah.
some sense of decorum along the way. Not like these kind of assholes that I'm surrounded by. I mean, I could see that. That's maybe a bunch of the people that are quote the traditional Republicans who are quote fighting to get the party back. They kind
Right.
of buy into 80% of the policies, maybe even closer to 90%. They're there on all the policies. They just think they can be massaged and done in a way that's a little more subtle and, wins the people in the middle, wins those
Right.
comfortable white people in the middle. So they think there's a
Right.
political calculation as well that the asininity and cruelty of Trump 2.0 is chasing away the middle, and that's why they're losing. So I think there's maybe also that frustration from some people, from some in MAGA world, that now they're losing. Like, so it's like they have a losing team. So now they're like an NFL team, right? Trump, coach gets fired, change the quarterback, right? Like you just, they're just pissed because things aren't looking good right now for them in the future.
Right.
And they're really worried about the midterms, right? That they're going to get wiped out because the hand was played wrong. I mean, maybe that's where they're at.
Well, remember, don't forget the criminality of it all, right? The corruption. You talked about the cruelty with bombing shipwrecked, fishermen. Um, so she's probably in the cabinet listening to these conversations where they're saying, what do we give a fuck? They're just a couple of, Venezuelans. What do we care? Right? Just listening to the inhumanity of it all. Maybe it tugged on her heartstrings as her maternal instincts. I mean, who knows?
But if you think about MAGA, right? They're all white. They're all of European descent, right? Like that's who MAGA is, right? That's
Right.
the civilization. That's the best, smartest, you know, genetically superior people on Earth. But they're also a part of an administration that's anti-Europe, right? Is basically
Make it make sense.
pro-Russia, anti-Europe. We're getting out of NATO. Those aren't our allies and friends anymore. But that's everyone. That's white people's heritage, right? Oh, we hate England. We hate Germany. We hate, you
But,
know,
but we love the
France.
Confederacy.
Really, like that's where all the white people have come from that make up MAGA.
I
So,
thought it was the Confederacy.
well, they came from somewhere, right? They came on those first boats.
Right.
So flipping people's ancestry over into our enemies has to bother some people. And there's probably also some people in MAGA world where the corruption is just too much for them.
Right.
Like they're watching
They're allergic to
drug
jam.
kingpins get paroled for dollars. I'm sure getting the East Wing knocked down bothered not just libtards like us, right? So there's been because you see some people living on Montana that are turning on Trump because of the shit that he's done with the public lands, right? And like they're natural conservationists, like they want to preserve the earth and the landscape because that to them that's what they're all about.
That's why they live there.
Yeah, so they're not liking, some of these side policies or shit. Maybe some of them are actually farmers and actually believed in farming and believed in the heartland and believed that was like the cradle of America and believed that that was like real America. And now it's
Right.
just gotten discarded as if it was like they're all just pieces of shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll throw them a few dollars now to shut them up, but they'll never have a business again because we
Oh,
wiped out all their customers.
no doubt.
So
No doubt.
maybe
And
maybe
Yellowstone.
maybe these confluence of self-inflicted wounds by MAGA have maybe this Susan Wiles is just sort of whenever she's like a canary in the coal mine type who's
Right.
just venting the frustrations of even core white MAGA as to what's
Right.
going on.
Right. And notice, we haven't heard much from Boebert. I mean, she tried to get into George Santos's party over the weekend, and she and her staffers were spotted going in. Haven't heard much from Mace, crazy Nancy Mace. Um, I mean, maybe they're finally starting to realize, hey, these guys really don't like women. That is the deal here, right? That Handmaid's Tale's got something to it, which by the way is really disturbing. I only got
Yeah,
through a
it's a,
couple of
it's a tough watch.
That's a tough watch, yeah, to say the least. But let's move on to the
Okay.
catastrophe coming at the first of the year. The soaring monthly healthcare premiums that are about to jump all over Americans' asses. I mean, Brock, this is I don't know that we can fully comprehend the devastation that this piece of legislation will cause.
I mean, it's going to hit right in the kitchen table of middle class white America,
Yep.
right? Mark, okay, this is me thinking. Black America used to getting fucked over. shit pulled away, this, constantly getting fucked with.
Yep.
White middle class America,
Not used
not
to it
expecting that, not used to it.
at
And
all.
that's a lot of who's getting these ACA benefits.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it's hitting right
All
into those
business.
homes, those people that feel like, hey, we're not lower class, right? We're not at the poverty line. Like we're middle class. We own our house, right? We're doing pretty well. We have jobs, right?
We employ people.
Yeah, we're not getting handouts, right?
We're
We're
not living off the
yeah.
system.
And now they're they're going to kind of get priced out of their quality of life. Like they're going to
Yeah.
get pushed down the ladder because now they're going to be scraping in a way they've never had to scrape because that extra one, two, $3,000 a month, depending on how many kids they have, right, is all of a sudden going to make them cancel things. It's going to take other things away from them, whether it's
Yeah.
vacations, if they're at the higher level, or they're just, going out to dinner, family outings, like just little micro perks, right, of the middle class.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't afford to carry two cars, right?
Yeah.
But it's
Or
just they're going to feel the pinch. They're not going to be able to have as many stations, right, or
right.
subscriptions. Just
Right.
and less food, or they're gonna have to, buy.
No
Everything's gonna have to be generic, right? No more Heinz ketchup. They're getting,
store
world
brand.
store brand, right? So they're just gonna have to downgrade a bunch of things. I feel like it's just gonna be, you know how it is. White people do not want shit taken away from them,
Yep.
and this is gonna take a lot of shit away from people because
Yeah.
those budgets are just gonna fucking shrink the
So
cushion.
your boy, Mike Lawler, standing up to blast leadership. He says that the decision to not allow a vote for the temporary health insurance subsidies is political malpractice. Strong words coming from
Yeah.
Mr. Lawler.
Because he's going to get fucking smoked in Westchester County.
Oh,
Because
no.
Westchester
Yeah.
County is full of those white middle class people that I just
Woo.
described, right?
Yeah.
They're living in the suburbs, they have jobs, maybe husband and wife both have jobs, they have a couple cars, go to pretty good schools, they're doing pretty good.
Pretty well. Take
And
3 or 4 trips a year.
but you layer a couple grand a month onto that health care and it changes their entire life.
Yeah. Changes their quality of living, changes their standard of living. And you know what? They may even have to downgrade the type of coverage they get, which makes it even more expensive if they've got a kid with asthma
Yeah,
or a
something
kid with
happens.
diabetes, right? Or if something happens, right? God forbid you break a leg, right? You know how expensive it is to set a leg, put it in a cast, and give you some, $900 crutches? The wooden ones.
So their kitchen table discussion before they get into is like why are they doing this to
To
me?
us.
Yep,
Right.
to us. Why? Why me? Why is this happening to us? Like we didn't do anything wrong,
Right.
except you voted MAGA, right? You voted for Mike Lawler. You voted for Mike Lawler. That's what you did wrong.
Yep. Well,
Because
Brock,
you
think
allowed
about
Mike Johnson to be the Speaker of the House. So you allowed a MAGA House majority and Mike Lawler, he's voted along with all this shit, right? All of a sudden now, when he's looking at the fact that he won by like 2% and the swing is 10% plus, he
Yeah.
like, I have no chance at winning.
Yeah. Hey, Brock, think about what's happening right now as we look at the calendar. We are what, 7, 8 days away from Christmas, 9 days away from Christmas, whatever it is. People are going to Christmas gatherings, Hanukkah parties. People are celebrating the season. Or maybe they canceled their party. Maybe the party's not happening at my company this year. And folks are standing around the water cooler and saying exactly what you said. Why is he doing this to us? What's Trump's problem? I thought he was going to nail them, right? Because that's what's happening. People are gathering. I saw, a couple gatherings this week in my neighborhood. 8, 9, 10 cars outside somebody's house. This weekend the college football playoffs start. People are going to be going to each other's friends' house to watch the games. And what are they going to be talking about? The same thing we were talking about last weekend when I told you 8, 9 of my former teammates from Howard University got together and we were like, what the fuck are we going to do? If he starts snatching up black people, because there was a heavily armed type of presence at the Georgia Dome, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, that we had not seen outside the game before. There were dudes out there with like machine guns, whatever they are. I don't know what you call them. And they were wearing like these tan uniforms. So I wasn't sure if they were ICE or if they were sheriffs. I wasn't sure who they were.
Border Patrol, this, that. There's so
Right.
many different
You can't be-
agencies, right?
Well,
Who the
you
fuck
can't
knows?
be sure.
The difference
so
between the
they-
gatherings, is, and I got one of those coming up on Saturday in the neighborhood, the whole like kind of
See?
neighborhood cocktail party Saturday night. So late
Can't wait to hear
afternoon.
about it on Sunday.
But I'll predict that we will not be talking about anything that has to do with our personal safety or security, right? Because we're not worried about like getting
No.
snatched up or anything along those lines, right? That won't even float its way into the conversation unless it gets ultra political. It'll be the economic issues. It'll be like the what the fuck with the healthcare, right? Like that. It's the kitchen table issues that white people concern themselves with, which is why the Alyssa Slotkins are always saying just talk economic issues, because that's just where white people are at. Because yeah, we don't have to worry about ICE throwing us in the back of vans. We're not targeted yet. I mean, me as a Jew, we're on the list somewhere, but it's still further down the list
Way down.
from brown people and black people, right? We still got
I don't think we're going to get to you on the list.
yeah, we got a ways to go, especially in America, right? With like,
You got time, fella. All right, give me your quick hits. What do you got? What do you have?
Mark, you got it. Okay, I'm gonna get a little controversial, but like,
Okay.
it
Here we go.
frustrates me when I see black celebrities or black people with a platform who somehow later in their life after they've made money, like find comfort in the MAGA movement. So like the latest I saw today was like Nicki Minaj. I'm just like, how? Like,
Saw that a
how do
couple
you
weeks ago.
how do
Yeah.
you get there from where you started and along the way? Like, you're still like surrounded. Not everyone around you is like wealthy and maybe insulated from the worst of the worst, but
Yeah.
your family and friends and like people you grew up with, like you can't divorce yourself from what's going on with your community. So I just don't get it, and actually frustrates me when I see it, because it's like, don't use your platform this way. Like, there's so
Right.
much you can do. You have the voice. People
I
will
can't-
listen.
Why was 50 Cent out there stumping for, some of those crazy Louisiana, state policies? Well, it's all greed, because he's moving out there to build a movie studio,
Oh.
right? So he can create his own network. It all comes down to greed. You got to look past the facade and see what's in it for her, right? Like these pastors, these clowns, that are, MAGA. There's something in it for them. There's got to be. Nikki's got to have something going on that she needs some help with. And maybe she's got some project or something going on.
With the
You know,
studio
but
or this
all
or
she
that.
did
I
was
mean,
make
yeah,
it
so you think it
turn
ends
out
up being that's the reason in the end, because God, yeah, I mean, maybe you button up against the system and you figure if you cozy up, you're gonna get some favor. And all right, I can see that, I guess, as a
And even-
personal,
and-
I can see that as a selfish strategy for self-enrichment. Okay, I mean, that explains it. Doesn't make me
Now,
feel better
and-
about it. Doesn't make me more frustrated even when I see it as a white guy. But I guess at least I get it. Yourself, it's your selfishness is
Right.
first and foremost. Like you're not thinking collectively, you're thinking me, not we. Okay.
Bro, bro, how do you have someone in your home? Her husband has been a part of the penal system. Has to register as a sex offender. I don't know if he still
Yeah.
does, but at one point he did. Like, how do you look at the fact that there's and Nicki Minaj has Caribbean roots. Like, how is she looking at, ICE doing what they're doing and say, yeah, I'm gonna rock with these. Oh, well, I can make money. Well, let me weigh it. Let me weigh it. Whatever, Nicki. I'm not listening to your music anymore. Um,
Ghostface
Cardi B.
Killer. Ghostface Killer says black celebs have Stockholm syndrome. They don't want to rock the boat.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's a pretty good assessment. I mean, Cardi B was going hard for a while, you know. Um, but yeah, a lot of the black celebrities, LeBron's been kind of quiet. LeBron's
Definitely, the
got
athletes have been quiet. Martina Navratilova was out the other day expressing frustration how so
yeah,
many athletes were outspoken in Trump 1.0 and how quiet they've been in Trump 2.0. And
right.
she's expressed disappointment. I think she even mentioned like LeBron and even Steph Curry for like,
Yeah,
hey, where have you guys been in 2025? Things are even
right.
worse because
Where we need.
she's very outspoken. Martina pulls
Yes,
zero punches, right? She's
right. Yeah, I saw
all
her.
right. I mean, whatever. What white guy? We got our own problems over on the white guy side of the ledger, but. Anyway, that just kind of bothered me today,
Yeah,
and
that's
I wanted to get
that's
your perspective when you see it.
it pisses me off because you got money. What are they gonna do? Take your money? They're gonna audit you. You got enough money to pay a really good accountant to kick their ass. I mean, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, you can say what you want. That's supposed to be one of the main tenets of this country. We say what we want, right? Besides, short of yelling fire in a crowded movie theater. I mean, come on. All right, quick hit for me. 1.25 billion in the Powerball Wednesday night. All it takes is a dollar and a dream. Nope, because the Powerball is what, like $5 a ticket now, $2 a ticket. I mean, it's insane the way these jackpots are growing. And this ain't the biggest one. The biggest one was 2.04 billion in November of 22, and the winning ticket was sold at an LA area gas station. So I'm grabbing me a ticket, bro, um, and I don't care what they cost, because I got a whole lot of dreams, and I'm going for it.
Okay, I hope
And
you win it, and I hope you are a Mackenzie Bezos when
oh,
you
no
get
doubt,
your money, because no one is like done more and better with their
more money
riches than
than
she
you.
is than she has done in the last 4 or 5 years. Before we hop, the Brown University shooter, who we announced was captured by Cash Patel, still appears to be on the run and free with basically no leads now. So we're
I don't know what
nowhere on that one
I don't know what they're
because
doing.
the FBI has all been transitioned over to work on ICE, supporting ICE and
And thousands of agents
deportation.
to redact
Oh
the
yeah,
Epstein
and
file.
redacting. They're too busy redacting and supporting ICE to actually track down our mass shooters. So thanks,
Yeah,
Cash.
why would we want to do that?
Keep up the good work, Cash.
Yeah, I hope things are going well with you and your girlfriend, and she's got a hit record coming out soon. Whatevs, moron. Oh gosh, he's right at the top of the list of people I'd swing on if I saw him in the street. So we'll have to see if there's any fallout from Susie Wiles. Rob Reiner's son, of course, is about to be charged with 2 counts of murder, which is just an unspeakable loss in so many different, communities: the comedy community, the movie making community, politics. Um, just an all around. Matter of fact, he was supposed to meet with President Obama the day that he was killed. Um, just an unimaginable loss. And apparently they had a dinner party the night before, so that must have been Saturday night. And people were very uneasy by the son's presence. So we'll have to continue to pray for that family. Um,
Yeah,
just can't
that family's broken. I mean, that family's fucking
destroy. It's
destroyed.
destroyed. Three lives, senselessly gone. All right, my friend, we're going to end it on that note.
All right,
Uh,
Mark. Always a pleasure.
yes,
I'll catch
sir.
up with you tomorrow. I'm with you. I'm very interested to see what, if any, fallout comes from this Vanity Fair chatter, which is just, phenomenal. I got to read more on it. I want to know every barb she threw.
Yeah, set your clock for about 3 a.m. when Trump starts Truth Socialing.
I'll wake up for that one.
And hide the cheeseburgers and ketchup because
Uh,
something's going up on the wall. All right, buddy.
all right,
Have a
Mark.
good
Talk to you
night.
tomorrow. Okay, take care.
Peace.